Okay. I just want to start by giving an intro to why we are speaking today. Congenital heart defect awareness, CHD for short, and how God has used it in our lives because we have let Him. Now, our job is to tell our story and spread awareness, but we really want to touch on how God takes tragedy and brings good out of it. I'm going to tell you, it's quite a little story. It's about 5 minutes long, but I just want to give you Haley's condition and what we've dealt with having her as our daughter. Our little girl, Haley, was born 4 years ago, healthy as far as we knew. When she was 2 days old, we were getting discharged from the Augusta Hospital. Her pediatrician, Dr. Kammerer, heard a murmur. Some murmurs are innocent, but he had concerns about Haley's and sent us to Maine Medical Center in Portland to see a pediatric cardiologist. And of course, that was the day that CHD became part of our lives. Haley had a pinched and narrow aortic arch and a large hole between her ventricles. The left side of her heart was also a little smaller, and she had a bicuspid valve on the right side instead of a tricuspid valve. But the immediate life-threatening defects that needed to be fixed were the narrow and pinched arch and the hole. She had about 2 days to survive. The only pediatric heart surgeon in Maine was doing mission work in China, so she was intubated with a breathing tube, given meds to keep her alive, and she got transported by ambulance to Boston. She had her first open heart surgery at 5 days old, and we were told she was a complete fix. 3 months had gone by, and we noticed that Haley was throwing up every single day. We thought it was normal where she had had a feeding tube and she had been intubated for so long. We were a little worried, so we went for an echocardiogram. As she was laying there getting her echo, we saw her cardiologist's face turn very concerned. He clicked the light on and ran to get another doctor. As he was doing her echo, he watched a glob break off her aortic valve, which is not a good sign. He thought it was a blood clot, and he was watching for signs of a stroke because he assumed it would immediately go to her brain within minutes. And they were watching her, and she was just laying there playing and chewing on a rattle and looking totally normal. So still very concerned, they admitted us to intensive care. We actually brought her in a car seat, which they said was very unusual to be admitted and not through ambulance. But they ran all kinds of blood tests on her heart and her brain. They ran all kinds of tests on her heart and her brain, and they also ran blood tests, and that's where they found out that she had a bacterial infection from her first surgery. She had had it for about 3 months and had caused all 4 of her valves to be damaged. The hole that had been patched had been opened again, and her aorta was narrow again. So she needed immediate surgery but had to get rid of the infection first. She was taken into mini surgery, we call mini surgery, to install a Broviac catheter through her chest into her jugular vein, where Andy and I had administered meds through needles in a pump for 8 weeks at home until the infection was gone. So by then, Haley was 5 months old and had to have her second open heart surgery. We decided to have it done in Portland, Maine, just because the pediatric heart surgeon here is amazing. So by then she was 5 months old. When she was opened up, her ascending aorta and aortic valve was so damaged, the surgeon told us he was peeling it away piece by piece. He didn't really know how it was being held together for that whole time. So Haley ended up having a complete redo of her first surgery, plus had to have a donor valve from a deceased baby put in place of her aortic valve. We saw a cardiologist every month, and then every 3 months, etc., until November of 2008, when she had outgrown her donor valve and then had a double valve replacement with a new donor valve put in place, and that was just in November 2008. She was 3. Infection and heart block are the biggest concerns after open heart surgery. Haley got both. After her first surgery, it was infection. Her third open heart surgery, she was in complete heart block. Haley's heart did start, but it would only beat at 30 beats a minute. So 4 days later, she had to be cut back open and have a pacemaker installed. Now we have her seen every 3 months because she also has a bad mitral valve, which needs replacement. They can only replace a mitral valve in a heart with a mechanical valve, and she'd need to be on blood thinners for the rest of her life, so they want to wait till she's as big as possible. so they can get an adult-sized valve in her, which can last for about 20 years. So for now, she's on a diuretic, which takes fluid out of her lungs that the mitral valve causes to leak into her lungs. Haley will never be fixed. Only valve replacement will give her temporary survival until she outgrows each one. So that's her story. And believe it or not, after some of the heart kids we have met, Haley is one of the lucky ones, truly. She has almost no symptoms at all. She lives life to the fullest with no restrictions, outside of she can't play contact sports, which she tackles her brother all the time. But anyway, but for real, seriously, people complain more about the weather than my daughter complains about open heart surgery. And I think we can all learn from that. Now we're going to show a short video of Haley's journey. The condition is Haley's, but the journey has been the whole family's. And I just want to say that we do have a 9-year-old son who is also in the video. He's amazing, and he loves the Lord. And then at the end, you'll also see pictures of my mom with my kids and releasing balloons from last year, because my mother is also a big part of my testimony, so I kind of wanted to point that out. But we'll see the video. Thank you.